Hello everyone, welcome back to this Kids Club Lock, where I basically play a Nuzlocke, but a Pokemon Stadium Kids Club minigame will decide if the Pokemon dies. This is the third episode. Let's have a look at the Pokemon I have on my team right now. There's a Geodude, who I intend to train a bit because I don't have that many walls that can take physical hits. There's a Pikachu, there is the Pidgey, which I use quite a lot to cheese with using Sand Attack. And there is the Sparrow. So today I intend to dive quite a bit deeper in the average fights and the walking through the dungeons, like Mount Moon right now. So we'll be spending quite a bit more time traipsing through the dungeon, fighting random trainers, and trying to switch train while playing this variant of Nuzlocke, which I think can be interesting, but which is perhaps slightly different from the pace of the previous episodes. I of course hadn't mentioned why switch training matters at this point yet. That's because I've put the mode for playing Pokemon on set mode, which is one of the custom rules for Nuzlocke. This means I don't get the automatic option to switch when the opponent sends in a Pokemon, so that means that if I want to switch train, I have to predict a lot better if it's possible to do so without putting a Pokemon in risk of fainting. So let me show you an example of where I try to switch train a bit using the dude. For example here, we're facing off against a Clefairy, and I know this Clefairy has got Sing, and Geodude's pretty slow. So I decide to switch in Pidgey. I know Sing has low accuracy, so I just spam a bunch of Sand Attacks in the hopes that when I use Geodude again, I can safely lay in a few attacks before Sing actually hits. That's the plan, at least. Normally speaking, I'm the kind of player who, after a couple of battles in Mount Moon, I like to go back to the Pokemon Center to get some health back, get some power points back, that sort of thing, but in the interest of the Nuzlocke, I think it's more interesting to keep going right now. So I got a bunch of potions, and I'm trying to do the whole Mount Moon thing in one big stride, while simultaneously fighting as many trainers as I can to get enough XP. But don't worry, I'm not using potions during battle, because I think that makes it a little bit too easy. So they're just there to help me out in between fights, so I can get through dark caves and dungeons more easily, like Mount Moon. But fighting all those battles with only one attack move can only mean one thing: you're gonna run out of PP sooner or later. But I plan to work around that issue by going over here and then going into this little room over here. Why is this room going to help? Well, inside it is a rocket and the TM for Mega Punch. But before I can teach the dude Mega Punch, I first need to get past this trainer, which, if my memory serves me correctly, has an Oddish and a Bellsprout, or some kind of grass type on their team in some form or fashion. So let's quickly switch Pokemon around and start with Pidgey. When was the last time you, as the viewer watching, ever used Mega Punch in a regular game? Can you remember? Were you hyped? Did you think it was kind of a crappy move? Let me know in the comments below. In my case, I am kind of looking forward to using Mega Punch, as silly as it sounds. For one thing, I think Geodude looks like a giant head with two rock arms, and so a giant rock wildly flailing around with its floating arms just to hit you with Mega Punch seems to kind of fit the theme there. Okay, so a good thing to know is I will be grabbing the Moonstone to the top left, but I will be skipping the hiker that I can fight right here in the middle. That is because he's got mostly rock types and I have all physical moves that won't deal that much damage. So that will take a lot of time, a lot of PP, and I think that will delay getting through Mount Moon way too much. So I'm just skipping the guy there. I mean, look at that. Isn't that fun to mess around with? A Moonstone and some punches and grabs later, and we end up in front of the Super Nerd, who, after 24 years, still hasn't learned how to share. And now it's time for some more bad sportsmanship with Air France. In the meantime, another question for you guys. Which fossil did you use to pick? And maybe even more interesting, why? Normally, of course, I would be hesitant to keep in a flying type against an electric type, but I know from experience that Voltorb doesn't actually learn any electric moves in Generation 1. Through level up, that is. Of course, I shouldn't get overconfident because a few screeches and a tackle can still deal a decent amount of damage. And with that, we're slowly creeping closer towards getting Air France to evolve. The damage on the tackle there surprised me a bit, so I'm gonna switch. And who better than the dude? And you guessed it, if I teach a Pokemon a TM, I'm gonna use it. But of course, there is no Mount Moon in Pokemon Yellow without...
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
Against Ekans, I expect Wrap and Poison Sting. So what I'm going to try to do is pop some sand attacks so the Wrap has a bigger chance to miss, and if Pidgey gets into trouble, switch out to Geodude. Wrap should do practically nothing against the dude, and Rock Ground, or at least Ground, I think, resists poison, so we should be good there. The only problem, of course, is that the dude is slow. Also, can we just appreciate how much work Geodude is putting in with Mega Punch? Of course, don't get me wrong, I know this is just good for early game. I'm not gonna oversell it or anything. Just kinda enjoying the moment here. It's also been a while since I've had a good sweep against an enemy team with a Geodude. So yeah, I'm just having fun. And after the blasting off at the speed of light, I will call it a day as well. I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me again soon for episode 4. If this episode was too in-depth or too slow for your liking, let me know in the comments. There is always something to improve, and I hope to see you again soon.